Yeah. All right. So how do you fix the filter, the listening filter that stands between you and other people? Because remember, if you're not connected to people, you can't communicate with them. The key to communication is to commune, to connect. And so we need to get this filter out of the way to make sure that we are connected to the person we're trying to communicate with. So let's continue to build off the stories that we were talking about. The last one was the business story between Patrick and Patrick, the CEO, and Chris, the COO. So the first key to being able to fix the filter is to become self-aware that you have a filter. So Chris is sitting there listening to Patrick talk about his new 5 initiatives, and he's starting to react because he's telling himself he's got this filter that says his judgment is, Patrick's always coming up with new stuff, never finishes the last thing. He's telling himself a story. This isn't going to work either. Now my workload just increased, and I'm never going to get to that crescendo of having finished something, feeling good about my work. So, I don't even know if I want to be here. He's dealing with that. Chris, the COO, is dealing with all of these issues that are only happening in his listening filter. But how does Chris get that filter out of the way so he can really connect with Patrick to get on point and be able to communicate and collaborate to actually get to a level of accomplishment together? Well, I'll give you a power tool, right? And so for those of you that already know about the leadership space, which is a book that I wrote that talks about the 3 C's: choice, context, contribution. You'll understand a little bit more deeply where I'm going, but I'll try to embellish a bit here. And there will be videos on the leadership space, so you can go to the 3 C's and actually learn a little bit more in depth what I'm talking about. But let me try to capture the key here is the 3rd C, which is contribution. And it's so incredible. You can think of it as contribution mindset. So if you think to yourself, you know what? I'm upset with what, let's say, Chris is saying. I'm upset with what Patrick is saying. I don't agree with it. I don't like where he's going. He's having this resistance. And so all that resistance is going to add layers to the filter, and it's going to be harder and harder and harder for them to connect, therefore harder to communicate. Because think about the impact. If I don't want to hear what you have to say, if I judge you as dumb or stupid or annoying or not thinking globally about the situation, like I can't get into your idea, I'm not going to participate. I'm not really going to be on board. We're not going to really look at the real problems and the real solutions to actually roll this out. We're not even going to have a conversation that's worthy. Why? Because we can't communicate until we connect. So it really does matter to get the filter out of the way. Here's what happens when you move to a contribution mindset. The moment you go to contribution, what happens is, because you have to understand what contribution is. Contribution is shifting your attention from ego to others. It's shifting your point of view, your mindset from it's about me to it's about us or it's about you. So contribution mindset would happen like this. Chris would think to himself, you know what, let me just be self-aware. I can feel the filter. It's hard for me to listen to Patrick, but I'm aware of it. I'm going to shift to contribution mindset. What does Patrick want to accomplish? What does the team need from me? How can I actually add value here? How can I connect in a way that's going to make a positive difference? And there's a lot of value to Chris because, as you know from understanding contribution, if you've read the book or you've watched videos, to contribute to others results in reciprocity. When I give to you, you want to give to me. So the moment that Chris decides to listen from a contribution mindset, everyone around him is going to be more interested in what Chris has to say, is going to want to make it easier for Chris to accomplish, because there's this energy between people that we all feel subconsciously. We can feel if another person wants us to win or if they want us to lose. We can feel if another person thinks highly of us or thinks negatively of us. We just feel it. It's called resonance. And so by Chris moving into contribution mindset, he instantly adds subconscious energy and value and power to his team. So there's a benefit to him because he'll be more influential by doing that. He'll also free himself of the upset listening to Patrick come up with more ideas. Okay? So the moment that Chris says, I'm stepping into a contribution mindset, moving from ego to others, he gets out of his own point of view. He's not worried about his story. He erases his judgment because what he wants to do is to be a contribution to Patrick and the team. And that gets him around or through the filter. It actually really dissolves it and it creates a beautiful connection, which is the key to communication. And that's the way to get through it.